And first opportunity, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I think that it'll be fairly clear to you all that there are some major differences between my opponent and I. Since I get to go first, I will say one more thing about this constitutional issue, because he doesn't always give you all the facts that you need to make your decision. There's actually a clause in the Constitution that says how you fill a vacancy in the Lieutenant Governor's office. And so that might very well be able to be used. It'll be up to the courts to decide how they would fill that, assuming that this person could get elected to be the governor. Once again, the constitutional analysis can't be based on the outcome. It has to be based on what the Constitution says and what you have to do. I have been practicing law since 1983. I clerked for the New Mexico Supreme Court for a year and worked on a lot of these kinds of issues. I have had my own private law practice. I've created jobs. I've done my taxes. You know, I have my own business, and I tell you something, there's a lot of things that you can't learn any other way, I think, than running your own business. And so I bring that to the Attorney General's office. I bring a lot broader experience to the Attorney General's office than my opponent does. And he will tell you that the Attorney General's office is just a super district attorney's office, because the district attorney's offices prosecute crimes, and they by and large do a good job of that. The Attorney General's office is the lawyer for the state of New Mexico, civilly and criminally. So for instance, if we get sued by the state of Texas over water deliveries, it's the Attorney General's office that represents the state in those issues. I have a lot of experience in water issues and natural resources issues. When we have Public Service Company of New Mexico or another utility that goes for rate hikes in front of the Public Regulation Commission, by statute, the Attorney General's office represents ratepayers in front of the Public Utility Commission. I actually, in private practice, was the lawyer for a small utility. So there are a lot of different hats that the Attorney General's office wears. And there are a lot of competing interests that we have to do. So fighting corruption, that's really important. But I've talked about a couple of other things that we do. Protecting our senior citizens from scammers. Protecting them from Medicaid fraudsters, because we have a Medicaid fraud division. Protecting the victims of domestic violence. Not only through prosecuting domestic violence perpetrators, but also through working with the legislature to improve our laws. And that's something that I've done in my career as a legislator. There are all of these different things that go into being the Attorney General. And you all are going to decide who you want representing the state of New Mexico. And I'm going to tell you that it's no different than going out and picking your own lawyer. You're going to want to go pick the lawyer that's going to help you win your cases. You're going to go pick the lawyer that's going to represent your interests and not use his own interests and tell you, no, I don't think I'm going to represent you on that one because I don't agree with you. I mean, being a lawyer is a little bit different. We have legal ethics that apply to us. And I have a career, and I am known to be an ethical and honest and hardworking lawyer and hardworking Attorney General, and I would appreciate your support for another 4 years. I will continue to work hard to represent you to the best of my ability as the Attorney General. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. Mr. Chandler, 3 minutes for you, please.
Edmund Burke once said, all that is necessary to allow evil to triumph is for good people to sit back and do nothing. And I think that's what's happened over the last several years in New Mexico. I think it's time that we put someone that has the experience of prosecuting criminals and holding public officials accountable in office. If you want a career politician, someone with higher sights, then this is your candidate. The Attorney General's office is not an afterthought for me. My opponent spent 12 years as a state representative. My opponent ran for governor twice and was unsuccessful, ran for Congress against Steve Pearson, was unsuccessful, and then ran for the New Mexico Attorney General's office. And it's been recently said that he created the Government Accountability Division because he thought it would catapult him into the governor's office. This position demands the utmost respect and the utmost interest in this position. I plan on prosecuting and holding individuals accountable. I plan on standing up for victims. I plan on protecting the Constitution. I'm the only candidate up here that has ever prosecuted a domestic violence case. I'm the only candidate up here that has ever been able to prosecute a homicide case. I'm the only candidate that has had to weigh the decisions of going forward with a capital murder case and a death penalty. I'm the only candidate that is receiving the endorsement from the New Mexico Fraternal Order of Police. I'm the only candidate that is receiving endorsement from the Albuquerque Police Officers Association, the Curry County Sheriff, the Roosevelt County Sheriff, the Eddy County Sheriff, the Dona Ana County Sheriff, the San Juan County Sheriff. All of these law enforcement agencies are saying it's time that we stand up and put a new person in the state's chief law officer's office. And it's for that reason that we can actually get New Mexico back on track. You know, 62% of New Mexicans think that we're on the wrong track in this state. And I submit to you that to get back on the right track, we can't vote for the same names for over 26 years. And it's with no disrespect to Mr. King or his family, because they have done a tremendous amount of public service. But it's time that we stand up and make a difference. It's time that we take this state in a new direction. I want to serve the people of this district. I want to serve the people of all 33 counties. But I want to do it as the state's chief law officer. I want to make sure that people go to bed at night knowing that law enforcement officers are working diligently to protect them. And I want them to go to sleep at night knowing that there is a New Mexico Attorney General that's willing to stand up and protect their interests, the best interests. Whether it's in cap and trade issues or border security issues, or allowing illegal immigrants to have driver's licenses or not. It's time that we have someone that's willing to stand, and I'm asking you to stand with me. Voting has already started. You are in the middle of one of the most important elections that we have seen in decades. And I'm asking for your support. I appreciate the support that you've given me as district attorney of this district, and I appreciate your vote, whether it's tomorrow or on November 2nd. We're going to put New Mexico back on track, and we're going to start putting people above politics, but we need your help. Thank you for your prayers. Thanks for coming out tonight, and God bless.